today what we're going to be making is a Hasselback turkey breast, and I'm going to make what I'm calling a blue corn succotash stuffing. So what a succotash is traditionally for eastern woodlands Indians was a very big staple in their diet. So it's kind of like a dish, almost like a stir fry, not quite a soup, and generally made out of corn as the principal grain. In season, definitely would be fresh corn, or green corn is what we call it. Some type of beans, onions, things like that, where it would just make a nice little soup. And one pot wonder. It's easy to make, camping over a fire with one pot type of meal. So it was really a good staple for Haudenosaunee people. And it was also a very important dish for early Europeans that came. It was one of the popular dishes that was taking on with them learning about new foods in the Americas and how to work those into their diet and how it was going to benefit them nutritionally and sustain them. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make the stuffing. I'm calling it a stuffing because it's going to go inside of the turkey. I really want to stay away from traditional like Thanksgiving flavors. So you're going to see a little bit of different product that I'm going to put into the stuffing. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to have beans. So I'll throw them all in here. These are just white pea beans. So those are the beans. I already softened those up last night, so they're good and ready to go. Next, I'm going to put some wild rice into it. Normally this wouldn't be in a succotash. I'm just hoping because they're all big pieces that this will help when it's kind of binding. Because I want it to kind of stick together when you cut into the turkey breast after. So I'm hoping this will help it do that. And also it's super nutritious for you. And it's a superfood, but I think all of our foods are superfoods. Science hasn't caught up with it yet to tell us all the wonderful things that we already know, but they like to have it in the science work there. So this was a blue corn. The color changed a bit once it went through the nixtamalization process. So I lied this. You just lye it in an alkali solution and it puffs up a bit, breaks off the hull. And then I boiled it a little bit more so it's cooked almost all the way through. It's not I didn't want to overcook it because it's going to cook in the turkey as well. So that's going to be so those are the three big main components of our stuffing that we're going to have. Something else I'm going to add, these are just some seasonings. I made, it's ramp season, so I made a fresh ramp salt. I dehydrated some ramps, broke those up, put a little bit of sea salt with it and whipped it up, and that's what you'll see in there. Some oregano, I like to use oregano. I wanted to still have some flavors, but not traditional turkey flavors like poultry seasoning, sage, things like that. This actually here is ground hazelnut flour, and that to me I'm hoping will be help because it will be gluten-free and I don't want to add bread or anything like that. I'm hoping that will also help bind the stuffing later on. And now I'm going to cut up some stuff to go in it as well. So what I have here are some chanterelles. These are from my friend out in, I was out in Wisconsin and he grows them. So I was really happy he came and gave me this big jar and I was just so amazed. I was like, yes. So I'm going to rough chop those. It's going to be a nice little punch of color in the stuffing. So I just like this really nice goldeny color that the chanterelles are, and they keep their color during the cooking process, so that's nice too. So we got these nice pieces here. Okay, get that in there. And I also did these, so because I said it is ramp season, so I took the bulbs and I did a quick pickling on them. These ones are actually pickled with sweetgrass, so it has that little bit of like aromatics that you get. So it's definitely vinegary from the base. I'm going to take about maybe 3 or 4. And then it finishes with that classic sweetgrass taste. If you don't know what sweetgrass is, it's a grass that's local to our area. It's very fragrant, almost an aromatic, really like perfumey kind of smell. So it actually transfers into our foods really well. And it's also one of our 4 sacred medicines. So it's really important to a lot of Indigenous people in different areas. And I like to utilize it because it gives amazing flavors to food. I actually have to a lot of time really decide what it is I'm going to put it into, because you only want to have maybe that flavor once in a meal or something, but I really love working with sweetgrass. So these, I'm just pulling them apart a bit. I don't want them to be whole in the stuffing. So broke those up a bit. So those are our ramp bulbs that we're putting in there too. Ooh, one rolled away on me. Okay, so this is all I'm going to put into the stuffing. What I'm also going to do is put some egg in there. So I'm hoping that that's going to help bind with me. I'll have to grab a spoon because I didn't have one out, or I guess I could just use my hands, but I'm just going to throw the egg right in then, in that case. So, I don't know if I should put more than one. We'll see how it goes. So, I'm just breaking that up, mixing it around. Then I'm going to take this and set it aside, and we're going to get the turkey out. And you want to dry the turkey really well so it has its form. So I have the whole turkey breast, and I deboned the turkey breast, so yeah, I think that's good with one. And that's going to be our blue corn succotash stuffing. All right, we're back. I cleaned up a bit of my mess here, so now we're going to work on the turkey breast. So first, before I get started, I wanted to talk about this beautiful plate here. I'm going to make my own rub for the turkey breast. So I'm kind of doing a play on like barbecue-y flavors with this one. What I have in this plate here is some more oregano and some more of the ramp salt because I want to tie in those flavors with the stuffing. This one here is some ground wild onion, and this is a smoked paprika. That's from Sakari Farms. And cumin, and this is a red ground chili pepper. I got that just traveling in New Mexico, so it has a lot of flavor, a little bit of spice to it, so I think it'll give it a nice contrast. This one is a smoked pinon salt, so I like the idea of that little bit of smokiness being in there and the earthy flavors. This here, just for a little bit of sweetness, is maple sugar. So we're going to mix all of these together, and that's what's going to be our rub for the top of the turkey breast. And I'm going to put a little bit on the inside too. You really want to season all your stuff well, so we can mix those up. And this is going to be our seasoning for our turkey. Okay. So I like doing my own spice rubs. For me, this is really an opportunity to highlight a lot of the ingredients that I get just traveling to different areas. Like there's stuff in here from Oregon, behind my house, New Mexico, Michigan. So like that's something that's really, it's really fun to talk about with Indigenous cuisine. Doing that in North America and talking about a lot of these things that you see a lot of the rest of the world talk about, these areas and where things come from, and there's not much information about that for North America and for Indigenous peoples and for our diets. So it's something that I particularly enjoy being a chef, learning about the ingredients, where they come from, and what new flavors we can get out of them when we're cooking. So oh, it smells good. Get a little bit of the chili, a little bit of the ramps. So here's the turkey breast I got here. Actually, I took a whole turkey and I cut off the whole turkey like breast section of it, and I did debone it as well. You could leave the bone in. It would be nice. A great flavor if you cut it in half. If you'd cut the turkey breast in half, you could have two and then slice along and Hasselback them, like just stuff them like that. But I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, I just want to go for one nice big thing. So I cut the front wings off the turkey, and then just followed like the skin along the edge, and then you have to kind of break it off the back part. But I didn't have much room, so I didn't know if I could get all that on film. So this is it. It will fold out nice, and we're gonna stuff that with our stuffing. But like I said, I wanted to get some of the seasoning in here as well, because we want that to permeate all of the turkey and give it that nice little bit of smokiness and chilliness and goodness. So liking what I see here. Okay, so that should be good. So without making a mess, I'm going to add my little bit of my stuffing in here. Maybe I should do that this way so you can see what I'm doing. So I don't know how much it's going to hold, but I did make quite a bit of stuffing. And the rest of the stuffing, you can always just put that in a pan, put it in the oven, and let it cook that way, and just add them. I would kind of mix them together before I serve it, unless you're cutting this nice and making little cute plates. So yeah, I left the skin part on up here because I figured that'd be a nice way to help keep all the contents in. So I have some butcher's twine here. I'm just going to tie some little sections. Slide that under. You can probably even just slide that under yourself before you even fill up the stuffing in that. Okay, so I'm just going to tie 2 simple knots, and we can get that, keep it together. Okay. When I put it into the oven, I'm going to flip it the other way, just so it looks prettier with the turkey breast side up, with the skin up actually. Okay, 2. That under there. And this is just like regular butcher's twine. And you want to pull it, not too hard, but so. I have a piece of parchment paper. I'm going to take the parchment paper and line that. I kind of do that with everything. It really helps save your pans and saves you some time scrubbing pans after. So we're going to take this guy and then flip it over. And I don't really want to touch it on there. So, and here's our stuffed turkey breast. Okay, so just want to move that towards the center a little more. So traditionally with a Hasselback, you would take something like a breast, slice it, and stuff all the pieces inside. I'm going about this a little bit different. So I figure when it's like this, it's nice tight. I'm going to do slices in the meat, and then so while it bakes, it's going to open up a little bit and be nice and pretty. I want to just make sure the skin. I like the turkey skin. You can take it off if you'd like. I just think it'll help make a nice juicy product, and the crisp turkey skin always looks really nice as well. And we're going to take more of our spice rub and get that all over the top. Good there. So I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut some slices into it, and then that'll make it our Hasselback. And you can see the stuffing. You can pound this out if you'd like, the breasts and stuff. You want to get it nice and flat to make the meat all nice and evenly portioned for when you slice it later. Okay, some of that stuffing in there. Actually, I'm going to do this so it'll look even nicer. It'll look even more Hasselback this way. So you can do this for Thanksgiving with a regular traditional stuffing that you would serve for a Thanksgiving dinner. It would definitely do that great for, say, if you're only cooking for like maybe 3 or 4 people and you don't want to take on making a whole turkey. So I got some of that in there, and I'll just use a little bit of this mix. I'm going to cook this in the oven. It's going to take probably about an hour. Because you want to make sure that it's all cooked through, because there is raw egg on the stuffing, so you have to make sure the temperature does come up enough. You want to put in a thermometer, and I'll double check it because I didn't for like poultry, but I believe it's around 167. And so I'm going to go put this in the oven, and we'll come back when it's ready. Hi, we're back, and this is the turkey breast. So you can see that nice color on there. I took it out of the oven about 15 minutes ago, so it is cooled down quite a bit. I'm actually really happy. It feels fairly solid in there, the stuffing. We'll see if I can get some nice slices of it. That would be really nice, but if I don't, it's okay. It'll still taste good. But the aromatics and using a similar to a barbecue rub, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. This is extremely fragrant. Okay, so I'm gonna try and find my little twines here. I'll cut this one off anyway. We'll see how we can get this off. So that always comes out nice and clean. Make sure if you have an animal, hide those good in your garbage. My dog likes to dig them out. Ooh. So I'm just gonna be real extra gentle cutting these here. See if we can get some nice slices. Just gonna go take it really easy. A serrated knife, I'm thinking probably might have been a better idea, but we'll get the job done here. And I just prepared some fiddleheads here. They're in season right now in our area. The seasoning that I put on this was a wild onion and a wild ramp salt, kind of mixed together because I wanted the oniony and garlicness. Okay, so now I have the finished plate that we did here. So I have the fiddleheads on there. I actually took some, there's some more ramp bulbs that I pickled, and this is a hibiscus pepper pickling that I did solution. And so I have that on here, and I took a little bit of that extra vinegar and put it over the dish. One thing that's a little different about between like cooks and chefs is that when we're doing the recipe development, we really think of, you have to think of all of not just your senses, but those tastes, right? Is it salty enough? Is it sweet enough? Is it acidic enough? And seeing as I use the barbecue flavors for the turkey, the outside of the turkey for the rub, I think that vinegar will be a nice contrast to go with that, because you see a lot of like vinegar-based barbecue sauces and things like that. Well, thank you for joining me today. I had a lot of fun making this new recipe, and it tastes great. We got to try a little bit of it, and it definitely gives you a little bit of that barbecue flavor. So if you like what you see here today, definitely like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell to see the latest postings from Chef Tawnya Brant. Ona.